What's up, my friends? How goes it? Another beautiful day here in Portland. A couple things I wanted to talk about today, and one of them was to go easier on each other as humans and just give each other a little bit of space. You know, it seems like there's a lot of judgment out there. There always has been. But in reality, I think that most people are pretty acceptant of one another, tolerant and understanding to the extent that each person's going to live their own life, do their own thing, have their own interests, their own likes. And instead of trying to change that by homogenizing the world, we embrace it and use those differences to learn from one another. You know, there's a line of thinking that goes into several different belief systems, but Buddhism is a good example of one that uses the idea of a bodhisattva, or an enlightened being, one who has excelled beyond the need for human lives. So let's just say for a moment that this is true. This is just for the philosophical concept of what it means to grow. So let's say theoretically that we have several lives that we live, and that the idea is for each spirit to master their sense of self and to accomplish certain goals that they either set for themselves or that they need to accomplish to become this enlightened being. Whenever I've heard such ideas proposed, I always dig not just deep into the what ifs, or I go back to the beginning and to the end, or rather through the cycle of life, or cycle of existence, if you will, and ask myself, to try to put it as simply as possible, if each individual is growing to attain a certain state of enlightenment or awareness, it seems to defeat the purpose of existence itself. And what I mean by that is that if my neighbor is a phenomenal artist and he paints a masterpiece, I have painted a masterpiece merely because all of us stem from the same root. Therefore, all of us, when people say that we are all one and the same, it doesn't seem to include for people the idea that we're all one and the same, but that means that we all learn from each other. Rather than when one person learns something, we all learn from them. And I think that this is how humankind works together in order to say that we're all trying to excel to a certain state of existence in our lives, whether it be merely just remaining the way we are, or whether we're trying to change and accomplish something important, or to be something important. None of it really matters in the big picture, in the long term. We know this. We know that it doesn't matter what we do in this life, that even if we live multiple lives, we're going to be living as different people. And of course, I'm putting all this out here theoretically. I'm not sure what I believe, or whether I believe in, any kind of past or future life. I have some interesting opinions on it, from the theories that I've heard so far about human souls needing to experience something. And what I'm getting at here is not, I'm talking specifically about whether or not after we die, some form of our energy reincarnates into another entity in order to further our progress on this plane of existence. It would be similar to the universe wanting to experience itself, if that makes sense. And I feel like each one of us are kind of the eyes of the world, the eyes of the universe, that we're experiencing together and sharing it. So wisdom is all of ours, if that makes sense. But I don't know. I don't know how else to put it, or what other words to put on this particular subject. So I'll just leave it at that. And as always, have a great day, and talk to y'all later.